Brilliant. Well, welcome to all of you that are joining the summit today, Mums on Cloud 9. If you joined the kickoff this morning, you will know a little bit more about what the day entails. But what we're here to do is help you take time out and to look after yourself during Self-Care Week. We've got a brilliant lineup of speakers talking about a whole range of things to help you reflect, think differently, putting new habits into place to care for yourself, because if our cup is full, then certainly you'll be able to give more to other people around you and to be more fulfilled in your career and life as well. So this session isn't about me talking, though. It's about Naomi, who's joining us, and it's all about rediscovering who you are. And thinking about, going into a new role, think about a new life, if you're going through divorce or anything else, redefining who you are with that confidence. That's the journey you're going to go on for the next 45 minutes. So I will leave you in the capable hands of Naomi, and at the end I'll just regroup and share with you the rest of the sessions and where you can feedback anything in the community. So Naomi, over to you. I will put myself on mute and make sure I'm inviting other people to the room. So thank you so much for joining us, and I'll let you take the lead.
Thank you so much. Hi everyone, it is great to be here. So before we start, I just want to bring you into a little meditation. I like to start all of my sessions with meditation. I think it's a really nice way just to drop into our body, and you've probably already had a lot of information, whether you've been involved in this summit throughout the day or your usual day and all of the stuff that comes with that. So hopefully you can hear that. If you could give me a little thumbs up if that sound is okay with thank you very much, Marta. So just place both feet flat on the ground and just take a moment to take a breath in through your nose and then out through your mouth. Let go with an audible sign. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Just arriving in this time and space. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Closing your eyes down if they are still open. Making sure your feet are flat on the ground. Taking a moment here to just arrive in your body. Imagine that you have a golden thread coming out of the crown of your head. And just feel it moving up towards the ceiling above. Pulling you gently. Feeling your spine elongate. And roll your shoulders back and down, make some space in your chest. Bring that breath down into your belly, softly, slowly. And now imagine that you have roots coming out of the soles of your feet. And feel your roots moving down through the ground, the dirt, the rock, and the magma. Connecting into a crystal grid in the center of the earth. And here you'll feel a charge of earth energy as it comes up through those roots into the soles of your feet, grounding you, anchoring you, protecting you in your own space right here, right now. And then feel that energy moving up through your legs into your hips, coming up through your torso, your chest. Feel your shoulders soften as that energy moves down your arms, into the palms of your hands and your fingers. And then bring that energy up through your neck. Feel it rising through your face, up to the crown of your head. And then feel, sense a beam of golden white light coming out of the crown of your head and moving up into the infinite, expansive universe above, connecting you into source energy, universal energy, the energy of the sun, the moon, the stars, infinite opportunities and possibilities. And then feel that universal energy coming down through that light like golden sparkling combs, touching the crown of your head and connecting you to and just tune inwards. How do you feel? Know where to be, nothing to do, just you in this space, letting go of judgment and expectation. And then when you're ready, you can gently wriggle fingers and toes and come back into this space. So maybe just pop into the chat box how that felt. I'm just going to share my screen now. There we go. So yeah, please feel free to use the chat box if you'd like to share how that meditation felt for you. I love to do this when I start a session. It's just a really good way just to bring us back into our body. Very relaxing, thank you. Emotional, yeah, emotions can come up, but that's beautiful. Like, it gives us an opportunity just to be with ourselves and how we feel. So just really allowing that. And as we go, please feel free to ask any questions in the chat box, and hopefully at the end I'll have some time to answer questions and go into a Q&A. But so my name is Naomi Buff, and today I am going to guide you through like a presentation about redefining who you are in midlife. So I specialise in working mainly with women in midlife who feel exhausted, disconnected, overwhelmed, invisible, like they're crumbling on the inside, holding it all together. I guide them into feeling like more empowered and energized and excited about the future. This phase of midlife can be quite daunting. It can be quite scary. It can be overwhelming and challenging. And it really is a turning point for us where we get to just take a sacred pause and ask ourselves some powerful questions. The way that I work with my clients is in coaching, breathwork, nervous system regulation, sound healing and cacao. And I do this one-to-one groups and events and online programs. So let's talk about midlife. So we live in a society that is telling us that aging is bad. It's almost like it shames us for aging. And so as women, we start to fight the natural aging process. And we will do all that we can to stay young at all costs, because because our body is changing, and that can be quite confusing. I like to reframe midlife as a reinvention or an awakening. It is not the end, it is the beginning. It's you waking up to who you are. A lot of the time, like we fall into like careers, families, relationships in our 20s and 30s. In those years, we don't really know who we are. By the time that we reach our 40s, it really is a time when like we have like lots of wisdom, we have lots of experience, and it's a time when we can really get honest with ourselves and ask ourselves some powerful questions, and really just to check in with that inner compass to ask ourselves, am I happy? Am I going in the right direction in my relationships, career? Am I aligned in how I'm living my life, my daily actions? It's a really powerful time, but it also is very misunderstood as well. So midlife can feel like really, really intense. I'm 45 and I'm like, one day I feel like I can run the world, and literally 24 hours later I could not even run a bath. So this is real, and our body is constantly shifting, changing at every second. We are not the same women from one week to the next. So it's really important that we start to tune into our body wisdom and we understand like what is actually going on within, because that empowers us to ask those questions and to make the changes that we need to make. So first of all, hormones. So hormones actually start shifting around about 38. And like the perimenopause like phase can be anything from 10 to 15 years before we actually go full into menopause, and that is like not having a menstrual cycle for a year, and then that is classified that we have hit menopause. Some women get to like 11 months and then they have a bleed, and then all of a sudden like they're back on the clock. So it can be a time that really does test us, because hormones are literally going up and down, and it affects us in so many ways, like our mood, energy, sleep, metabolism, our body changes. So it can be really, really challenging. So that's definitely one area to really start bringing your focus and attention to, and asking yourself these questions. Identity shift, like when we get into our 40s, it's a time when like we ask ourselves, like, who am I? Like, am I happy in this life that I'm living? And it's a time just to really sit with ourselves, to really evaluate and assess what do we want for the future. A lot of the time, as I said, like we have fallen into relationships and careers, maybe had children start to get older, and all of a sudden like we start to get like a little bit of time back as well. So it can be a time with empty nesting. It could be a time with where you like question like what you're doing, like are you feeling fulfilled? Is the work that you do purposeful? Like what lights you up, what fills your cup. Like understanding you as an individual is so powerful. And we'll question stuff, like question every area of your life, like doing a life audit. This can be a really powerful, it can be a little bit scary as well, especially when you come up against those questions and you say, oh, I'm not sure about this, or this is a hard no. So also like we have like social pressure. We have like a lot of pressure from social media. Everything like marketing is always telling us that we should be younger, prettier, skinnier. And all of that completely goes against the natural process of our aging bodies. So like we can fall into this trap where we think I'm not good enough, I need to be younger, I need to be prettier, I need to be skinnier. All of that is really damaging. It's not helpful, because essentially like our body is going to change no matter what. Like aging is real. We can do a lot to optimize our health and the aging process, which I will talk about. But from a mental perspective, just having that acceptance, accepting that my body's changing, I am aging, and rather than fighting it, which is continually telling your body that you are under attack, like surrender, lean into it, move with this aging process rather than against it. And I promise you, like it becomes so much easier when you accept and you go with the flow. All of this creates a huge amount of emotional overload, and if we don't have like safe outlets, like support, or like ways that we can release and process our emotions, and that becomes suppressed, and that manifests as like a dis-ease within our body, which we'll come on to as well. So I like to see that we all have two paths in midlife. So the first path is the path of like misalignment, and the second is the path of awakening. And if you are going down the path of misalignment, like this is where you literally, it's like becoming like the victim of your story, where you are fighting the aging process, and it is a losing battle. Even if you are doing the things on the outside, internally that story will always be I'm not good enough, or like I need to be younger, I need to be prettier, I need to be skinnier, whatever that is. So that's going to cause a lot of like inner turmoil, which is going to pull you out of alignment. Also, like you could feel a lot of women in this phase like start to feel invisible, like start to feel like they're not seen and not heard, and like are constantly giving, like this over giving, people pleasing. So this can result in burning out. Can also be like a disconnection as well, like disconnecting like from yourself, disconnecting from others, just wanting to isolate, like this overwhelming sense of confusion, and just not knowing what's going on with your body, with your mind, and just completely retreating and closing everybody out. I see a lot of this, feeling like this emotional heaviness and fatigue, and like the burning question, is this it? Which just drains on your energy, resources, and everything else. So this path is like it's a path of like victim mentality, like all of this is happening to me, poor me, and very much like getting stuck in the story of all of these negative elements of aging. The more empowered version is choosing to become the hero of your story or the heroine of your story, and rising to meet yourself at this powerful turning point in your life, and to use it as a opportunity to reevaluate where you are in your life, and to make the changes that you need to make. Ask yourself what you want for the future, and take daily aligned action to nurture and nourish yourself. Like, start to make changes in all areas of your life, in your health, vitality, mindset, various different ways to like really start to become empowered and take control of your body and what is happening. And this is how you start to like really reinvent yourself, and you start to step into your power, because you no longer are people pleasing, and you're no longer just going through life, a life that is not yours or that you didn't want. You start to wake up to yourself and what you want for yourself. So I like Mayan cultures, like they celebrate menopause because it is celebrated as a rebirth. With when they lose their baby making hormones, they say that it gives them a new vitality and energy, and they see it as like a whole new phase of life. So women actually look forward to it. Our culture tells us the complete opposite. It's like, oh my God, like it's really scary. So like midlife awakening is awakening to your power, awakening to who you are becoming. And that can be really empowering, exciting. And when you learn how to optimize your health, well-being, energy, hormones, like everything changes. Like you can go through this phase feeling energized. You can go through this phase and into the next phase of life feeling excited and empowered and like really doing the stuff that you want to do. I started working with a client recently who has always wanted to be a hairdresser, and in her 40s she's going to retrain to follow that aligned like desire. And already like she's starting to light up from the inside with the prospect that like she's finally, after years of having babies and doing all of this other stuff, that like now she's gonna like step into like what fills her cup, what feels truly aligned for her. So that's really exciting. So it's never too late. It's never too late. So the areas of reinvention. So, I mean, you do not need to reinvent all of these areas. These are just some areas that you might want to just give yourself like a little bit of an audit. But relationships are a big one. A lot of women get to their 40s, children grown up. And then all of a sudden, like the partner who they've been with for 15, 20, 30 years, all of a sudden, like they realize, oh, we're in very different directions. We are very disconnected. We are not aligned. So it can be a time when, and it's usually like the women who like make the decision to leave. Some men do, but mainly women, because they do come to this point and they awaken to all of this. I left my ex-husband when I was 40. And I've never looked back. It's been the most liberating and the best thing that I've ever done. And people like always say to me like, oh my God, you look so great. What did you do? And I'm like, got a divorce. I don't recommend going out divorcing, but that was my personal awakening journey too, because I was in a relationship which was very misaligned. It was very toxic, and it impacted me in so many different areas of my life. It impacted me in my mood, my health, so many areas. And like I think like I don't even remember like laughing for years, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, like is this me? So like that process was really, it was beautiful to kind of like to come back into myself, and then to start asking myself these questions like, well, what do you want, Naomi? And I have very much like co-created like my life on my terms, and I do that with my clients now. Career as well, as I said, like that can be an area which really women start to look at. And purpose, like what are we here for? Like we women love to be of service, we love to do things for others, and we have this like feminine energy which is all about flow, all about giving. So like sometimes like just tuning into our purpose and what is aligned for us on a soul level can be really powerful. A lot of women in their 40s also like discover spirituality, which is really beautiful. So it's really connecting into like our intuitive feminine powers, really, and opening our heart, mind, soul to align on our soul journey. So that can be really, really exciting as well, because all kinds of crazy stuff starts to open. Health, longevity, friendships, also like friendships, like we can like come to a time where all of a sudden like friendships that we've had for like many years just don't feel aligned, and or boundaries are pushed, and like it's a time like when we can say, oh, this is not serving me, this doesn't make me feel good, and like we have that inner power and confidence to say no and to walk away with love. So how would you know if you were misaligned in any area of your life? So some common areas, like feeling invisible, that feeling of not being seen or heard, emotional overload or overwhelm, or emotional dysregulation, so not being able to regulate your emotions. Like 1 minute you're happy and then the next second you're crying. But if this is an ongoing thing, obviously like hormones play a big part in that. But that is also an area to look out for. Feeling really irritable and reactive, and again that comes down to like not being able to regulate our emotions. So we might get really snappy, short-tempered and overreacting, and feel quite triggered by things. Chronic people pleasing, I'm sure many women can relate to chronic people pleasing. But when you kind of like awaken, all of a sudden there is this inner knowing that you just will not tolerate or will not spend your energy on anything that doesn't serve you. So you meet your own needs first before meeting the needs of others, and that is really exciting and really empowering, to start to say no, obviously with love. It can also show up as depression and anxiety, so low mood and like constant worrying, but anxiety can also be linked to perimenopause when progesterone starts to take a nosedive. Brain fog as well, so we can have that, and again like this can also be hormonal. We can also feel like a loss of identity, like not even knowing who we are. This is like one of the main things that I work with my clients, like trying to reconnect them and reinvent who they are at a soul level, feeling disconnected. So that disassociation from the body. And this can kind of like start with like traumatic childbirth, for example, and like just not really feeling that you are in your body and feeling very disconnected, like not being able to like connect into joy, feeling very distant. And low libido. So again, this is linked to hormones, and this could also be linked if you're in a relationship that was out of alignment. So how do you turn your midlife into an awakening? So one of the things that I love to do is ask powerful questions. You are the only person that knows like what you want, what your soul path is. You can work with coaches, you can talk with friends, you can like use AI and like ask them to show you the path. But essentially, you are the only person. So like if you want to reawaken and reinvent yourself, you need to sit with yourself and ask yourself these questions. And I really say like this is your responsibility, because only you like know what is going on within, and only you can answer those questions. As I said, you can be guided, you can be supported, but only you can ask yourself these questions. So I really, really recommend like taking time out and sitting with some questions like this. Creating boundaries. I love this. It's so hard for women to create boundaries and saying no without guilt. But like when you start to protect your energy, when you start to say no, thank you, like it is so empowering. And like when you free up all of that time and energy, it gives you time to invest back into yourself, back into the things that feel nurturing, nourishing, and fill your cup. Seeking support and community. Like I really do believe that like we've got so many like resources, we've got social media, we've got AI, which I'll talk about, but nothing, and I mean nothing, is more important than like our community, our friends, because we can feel very isolated, but also like it's being in the right circle of women who fill your cup, who are uplifting, who are your champions and your supporters. And you'll know that like by how your energy feels if you're in their company. So, and this can be a good time to do like a bit of a cull if you are with friends who are constantly bitching or like slagging off other women, or always talking like negatively. Obviously, we all have these moments, but like, what is the narrative, like the regular narrative of these conversations? This is really important, like to curate your input. So what is influencing you? If you look at your social media feed, what are all of the posts, all of the sponsored posts and all of the things that you are constantly seeing? What is your Instagram suggesting to you, for example? And what news are you watching? Like it's so much of like what we take in from our phones and from the media gets like integrated into our belief system. So like if you're constantly getting anti-aging creams and do this face injection and whatever, then this isn't helpful, because this is a constant message that's saying, oh, have this injection because it's going to make you look younger, and that is not helpful. So like do a little bit of a social cull as well. Prioritizing your health, really start to optimize your hormones, nutrition, movement, because they really are like the foundation of everything. You cannot pour from an empty vessel. And as I said, like you might go, oh, I haven't got time to do that. But when you start to put in healthy boundaries, when you start to release what no longer serves you, all of a sudden you have the energy to do that. So like put it back into you, into who you are becoming. Listen to your intuition. Like women are so intuitive, but like we have been pushed into this like forceful world where we have to do more, be more, create more, and it's like push. But in actual fact, like sometimes we just need to pause, we need to breathe, we need to stop, we need to tune into our intuition, because our intuition is so powerful, like so powerful. Like when we listen to our bodies, like when we connect to our inner truth and our inner voice, like everything shifts and changes, and it can be mind blown where that takes you. Regulate your nervous system, so finding safety in your body. So this is really, really important. A lot of women like don't feel safe in their body, and again, that kind of everything that I've spoken about before, like can bring us into this place where it's not safe to be me. So like regulating your nervous system is like key. So doing like practice, like somatic practices, breath work, resting, like meditation, like anything like tap in, for example. All of these things can help you to regulate your nervous system. And nourish and rest, like feed your body like food that supports your hormones. Rest because you need your rest. And sleep, I know like sleep can feel really compromised, but get a sleep hygiene protocol in place. Take some supplements that help with sleep, because you will feel like sleep changes absolutely everything. And just with like on hormones, one thing that is really, really key is like tracking your monthly cycle. I use an app called Moody Month, and we have like 4 different phases of our menstrual cycle, and we are not the same women from one week to the next. And it's so helpful to track your cycle, because when you do, like you can go in, for example, you can have a look like whatever day you're on, and it will give you an indicator. Today your progesterone is dipping, so you might feel heightened anxiety, you might feel more overwhelmed. So all of a sudden it like gives you this like sense of security that how you feel, you're not crazy. I also recommend giving this app get your partner on board, okay? Because men are, they can go through this phase with us, whether they're a long-term partner or a new partner, it doesn't matter. Like, it, whatever's happening to our bodies is gonna happen. But get your partner involved in this, help them understand where you are at and what is happening to your body, because it honestly is so beneficial and it is so helpful for like relationships. One of my favorite things is biohacking. So biohacking isn't just for all of the tech or the techies. Like, biohacking is like understanding our biology and optimizing it, which helps like with vitality, energy, focus, clarity. And it really is an absolute game changer, because we can apply it to our hormones as well. So one of the things that I like to do is intermittent fasting. But again, like, that's something to do in sync with your cycle. So Mindy Pelez has a great book called Fast Like a Girl. And that can be really powerful as well, especially with our metabolism constantly changing. Try to avoid alcohol as well. I know that's a real like downer, but as we like start to offload estrogen with this roller coasting hormonal fluctuations, our liver processes like the estrogen that we're offloading, and the liver also processes like alcohol as well. So like when we kind of like come into our 40s and our hormones start fluctuating, like all of a sudden our tolerance to alcohol becomes like a lot less. So there's a good reason for this. So don't try to fight it. Go with this flow. Like, step back from or changing alcohol habits can be really, really powerful as well. With like biohacking, there's so many different like areas of biohacking. Probably need like a whole session on biohacking, but it is incredible because it really can help with like sleep and circadian rhythm, nervous system regulation, and like your hormones. And there's loads and loads of lots of different tools and tips on biohacking. So tools to support your transformation, and a lot of this is like biohacking as well. So breathwork, I'm a breathwork facilitator, and for me, like, breathwork is the most powerful thing that we have as a human being. And it really does, it helps to connect your mind and body. It helps to like regulate your stress responses, regulate your emotions, clears emotional blockages. And since I've been practicing like regular breath work, I sleep really good and I'm much more focused, and what else, sleep really good, and completely forgot, obviously not memory. Much calmer, that's it. I'm so much calmer. Nutrition and supplements, this is a time really, like, if you want to go through these years feeling like energized, feeling like your body is supporting you, what you put into it will equal your output as well. So eating whole foods, protein rich meals as well, taking magnesium, omega-3, B vitamins, adaptogens, like creatine is really, there's so much that's come out on creatine, and collagen. Meditation is like one of my favorite tools as well. And again, like, I do breathwork and meditation every day without fail. Even if I'm traveling, I had like a 6 a.m. flight recently from Gatwick. I woke up at like, I think 3 a.m. to do my meditation and breathwork. Like, it is a non-negotiable, but it is a game changer. Functional fitness, like, as we kind of like come into these years, like, our body is changing, and osteoporosis, like, because of the decrease in estrogen, like, can be a risk for women. But like, strength training is like the best thing that we can do for ourselves. I always like think I train probably like 4 times a week, and I do it for vitality, for energy, for not for how I look. So it's like just changing like the narrative on that as well. Functional testing, I really do think that like we should be getting our hormones tested. There are various different hormonal testing. The doctors won't do like very comprehensive ones. If you do want some, you can go to a company called Thriver or Medichecks, and you can get like a full hormone panel for around about £100, and it gives you a summary of that as well. And then you can put it into and you can either get like a nutritionist to give you a message back, or you can put it into ChatGPT, which I'll come on to. And yeah, really like connecting into like-minded women who are embracing this journey and not like moaning about the whole like changes. So as this summit is all about AI, like how can we use AI as our co-pilot? So I use AI a lot. But I mean, there's, as you know, like there's lots of like, especially because this is like medical, like please do approach with caution. Don't take everything it says as like gospel. Use it as a guide. Use it like for deep research. Like everything that I use it for, I would have researched like on Google like before, but now it's just saving me like so much time. And it's like I have like different chats for different things. So like one for hormones, one for like some digestive issues that I've got, one for supplements. And I'll just keep these chats going, and it kind of has got my history. And so now I'll say, oh, Naomi, because you're 45 and you're going through perimenopause, and because it remembers this stuff. So it's a really good like tool that we can use to just curate all of our content into one place and to remember it. I also like to use AI as my gym buddy. So I will use it like I was working out and I wanted something different. So I said, like, put in what my goals were and suggested some exercises. I've been working out for years. Please don't do this if you are new to working out, and because it's really important. I'd definitely recommend working with a PT first. So like we can use AI to help us and to support us and to guide us. But it is not something to completely like take away like from experts, or to take away from our community, because it can, if we use it too much, it can isolate us. So it's having like a healthy relationship with using AI and using it to help you understand yourself and help you optimize like your health, nutrition, your hormones, but always like referring to a doctor or an expert for anything that is like a diagnosis, or if you're changing anything big. But for like little things and for keeping everything together and like meal plans, shopping lists, like I take supplements. I recommend supplements. And what I will do, but I will only have clean. So I put like into a chat, I'll put something like I'll take a photo. Is this fancy marketing or is it really clean? Has it been third party tested? Are they do the ingredients? So I'll use different prompts, and it's really interesting like what it comes up as, and then I say suggest something that is clean, blah 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 blah. Also like with supplements, like if you're taking a lot, like sometimes we can over supplement. So there, like for example, there was something with ashwagandha recently, and like people are overtaking ashwagandha because it's in like the nootropics coffee, it's in the sleep supplement. So like you can put everything in there to make sure that you're not like over supplementing. So that can be really, really helpful as well. So we have pretty much come to the end of like what I wanted to share with you today for helping you redefine who you are in midlife. If you would like to connect with me further, my Instagram is Naomi Buff _ on social media, and I also have a 3-day midlife awakening challenge, and it has some beautiful meditation. So if you enjoyed the meditation that we started with, it's got a lovely activation in here, and then another meditation activation which connects you to something greater. So you're welcome to download that and dive into your awakening journey, which is very, very beautifully soul led. And if anybody wants the slides from this, please do drop me a message, and I'd happily share those with you as well. I think we'll probably have like a couple of minutes of questions, so I'm gonna stop sharing this and come back, and hopefully I'll be able to answer some questions. Oh, please share any questions. Yes, you can get the presentation. Moody month. Yeah, moody month. Does anybody else have any questions that they would like to ask on anything before we end? Oh, thank you, Sarah. Any other questions? Excited about the future.
Lauren's got her hand up.
Oh,
Lauren, did you
sorry.
want
Oh,
to
hi,
talk?
Lauren.
Are you there, Lauren? Did you want to put yourself off mute and ask a question? You've got your hand up.
Oh, so
Oh,
oh,
sorry, I hit something.
so
Don't worry.
Sarah. Sorry, I was just reading Sarah's question. So excited for the future and want to get going, but the world seems to be saying no because of my age. How can I navigate this? I feel that I will give up if I keep getting negative experience, or worse, being ignored. So a lot of women really do suffer with like this, like that feeling of being invisible. So it's like looking at who, like defining, when you say who is the world, like where is that narrative coming from? And changing like the story that you hear, and changing what like your input is, like looking at what your input is, and then asking yourself like what you want for the future, and like really setting a goal of moving forwards. Hopefully that is a really quick way. There's quite a lot to answer with that, but hopefully that quickly. But feel free to reach out, Sarah, and I can go into that in a little bit more depth if that makes sense. Oh, thank you. Oh, I'm really pleased. Looks like everybody enjoyed that. Any other questions? Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Naomi. You covered such a lot in there. It was jam-packed. Great. I love how you can get all that in 45 minutes. It's like covered everything about life and being a woman, and from mental health to menopause and everything else. And so that resonates with me as well. And I think the AI tips, as say, we're looking at that today.
Yeah.
That's been quite helpful for me. The perimenopause has hit me the last 6 months, and you're like, oh my goodness me, like I just hit a wall. And so you using a lean on that, but also getting hormone treatment, hormone treatment, getting your hormones tested. It's been a whole new world for me. So I think safe spaces like this are just so important to discover. So thank you for sharing all that with us today.
Oh, it's been such a pleasure, and I'm happy to share the slides if anybody would like those.
Thank you so much. Well, we'll let people reach out to you. You've got your QR code. We will upload this session and share it as part of the replay. And if you want to share the link, you can reach out directly for the slides, or we can upload them as well. So thank you for spending this time with us. Have a lovely afternoon. Thank you everyone for your lovely feedback. I think there was some great, amazing takeaways and all of that from all of you. If any of you want to join the other sessions, I will just put the other sessions in here. Naomi, did you want to say any final words before we close the session today?
I would just like to say thank you all for joining. And I hope that, I know that there was a lot of information today. What I always say is just like your starting point is like what one thing resonated for you, and take that step. If you downloaded the Soul Led Reset, like that's a nice little like gentle introduction into it with some simple steps as well. But the main thing is just start, and it's kindness, compassion, curiosity, connection, and consistency, which are really, really key.
Thank you. And looking at where you are now, happy and glowing, that's where we all want to be, right? So that's our motivation we need. And I always love following you on social media, because you always show up for people and share things every day. And I think that's what we need more in the world. So thank you for being there for all of this.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks, everyone. I shall see you later in the next sessions, or I hope you have a lovely rest of the day. But thank you all for joining. Take care. Speak to you soon.
Bye.